Hi, I'm Anastasia, Product Solution Architect. I specialize in helping founders and product teams build and scale no code plus AI products without hitting expensive walls later. Over the last few years, I've worked with many teams who started fast on Bubble, Adalo, Softer, Glide, and other platforms. And my job is to make sure their no code system stays efficient and manageable, even as the product grows. I'm a strong believer in no code. It has genuinely changed the game, allowing people to launch real products faster, test ideas quickly, and even build entirely new businesses and careers. For many MVPs and early stage products, no code is still one of the smartest choices available. But here's what I've observed after working with dozens of growing no code products. There often comes a point where the product starts feeling heavier. Costs rise faster than expected, changes become slower and riskier, and the team spends more time fighting the platform than building value. Let me share a few real patterns I see. One SaaS product on Bubble grew to 8,000 users. When they added their first meaningful AI feature, monthly workflow costs suddenly jumped from around $450 to almost $3,000. The main issue wasn't Bubble itself, it was how data relationships and user sessions were structured from the very beginning. Another team built an internal tool on Softer and Airtable. At 200 users, everything felt smooth and cheap. At 1,200 users, even simple pages started loading slowly, and every new feature required complex workarounds. The team was burning time and motivation fighting technical limitations. And here's a very typical case with Adalo. A marketplace app chose Adalo for its beautiful mobile experience and speed of development. In the early days, it worked great. But once they reached around 400 active vendors and needed more sophisticated permission logic, they ran into serious trouble. Separating data safely between different vendor groups became extremely difficult. Every small update carried the risk of affecting someone else's data. As a result, they had to pause new features for nearly 3 months while looking for safe workarounds. These situations are surprisingly common. The good news is that in most cases, the problem is not the no code platform. The real issue is that certain critical architecture decisions were never properly made or were optimized only for speed in the very beginning. When that happens, you start paying in increased platform costs, slower team velocity, and growing anxiety about the next big change. But here's what I want you to understand: no code can scale well if you treat it with proper architectural thinking from early on. The founders who succeed long term with no code are those who make deliberate decisions about data architecture, permission systems, cost efficiency, and future flexibility. They design for scale before they actually need it. They reduce decision debt. They keep their options open. That's exactly where I help my clients. I work with founders who want to stay on no code because they love the speed and flexibility, but they also want to make sure their product doesn't become expensive or fragile as it grows. If your no code product is gaining traction and you're starting to feel some friction, rising costs, slower progress, or worry about what happens at the next level, it might be the right time to take a proper look at your current architecture decisions. A single focused architecture review can often save months of struggle and thousands of dollars in unnecessary costs and rework. If that resonates with where you are right now, feel free to reach out. I'd be happy to take a look at your system and show you exactly where the hidden risks and opportunities are.